We're creating a custom field to measure the lead metric for DCMA. I like to have each DCMA 14-point metric have its own custom field, so that way I can have a DCMA view that I am using when I want to see exactly which tasks are tripping up a metric, and then work it real time instead of relying on a third-party tool and going back and forth between the two tools. It's directly in Project. Unfortunately, Project doesn't come with it already built in, but luckily they allow you to build custom fields and views and tables. So what I'm going to do is insert a flag field that gives us the option to have yes and no answers. Then I'm going to use a formula, but before you go any further, make sure that you rename that flag field before you go any further, because if it's blank, you're going to forget where you put it. The formula is going to look at your predecessor column, and you do the in stream, and then you say predecessors. Now, how do I find this out? When you're wanting to do any kind of, or pull any kind of data from a field that already exists, you can select it here, and it gives you all your options. Predecessors and successors are going to be in the ID area of fields. You can also do functions as well. You can have all these here. I'm going to say, what is a lead? It's anything in the predecessor that has a minus sign. Because remember, leads are those negative lags. It means that something can start before something is finished. If you did that kind of relationship, finish to start with a lead, or if you did backwards planning to say, hey, this task is going to start so many days before this one starts, you can have that. There's some instances where there's like a test and they say, okay, 30 days before this test, we have to have this review. There's really no other predecessor to it. It's just how the test community runs their review sometimes, is it says so many days out, we have this. So that would be when you use a negative lag or a lead. Then I like to use graphical indicators because I don't want to have my eyes get tired of looking for the yeses, because that's when mistakes happen. So I make sure all of the no's have a blank, and if it's a yes, it does have a red color, and it's a simple dash line. Then I press OK and press OK again, and then you're going to be able to filter on those yeses. And you can see, validate it by having your predecessor column open and saying, yes, okay, that one does have a lead because there's a negative, it says a 4-day lead, and then this one also has a 4-day lead. If you wanted to, though, go down to that section and you can see, okay, yep, there you see it, and go down here to your table and say, okay, what is that? It's saying, okay, 4 days prior to blocks being done is when you're going to purchase the doors. That's a weird lead, but hey, sometimes it happens. Now, the reason why I build a table and a view is then with that view, I look at it and I have all the columns in the order that I want, and then I copy and paste them over to Excel. The whole point of doing the custom field is so that you can put it into Excel for a further report, or you can pull it into Power BI. I'm going to show you Excel. It's less of a learning curve. So the other one is a good view for schedulers so they can see it all on one page and fix it real time. But this allows you to see, again, how you're performing against those metrics. So this is where you can convert it over to Excel and have it do a count if. So in this one, I have a count if anything in that column is a yes. So it's counted we have 2, which matched with what we were doing when we did the filter. Then I say, okay, 2 out of the total amount of tasks, because that is the formula. And I say 89. 89 is because it is filtering on the summary column. So in my view, I do have the summary, so it's an easy copy and paste over. And you only want to count the detailed task. So I'm counting how many of them are no's, and then that's how I got the 89, because you do not want to count your summary task because that's duplicative. Your summary tasks are just combining all your detailed tasks from below. So you don't want to count those. Leads, though, are not allowed. So that's where there's a 0% threshold. And I have 2 tasks. So 2% of my tasks are tripping the threshold. So it's red. I have conditional formatting here. And what you can do when you build your Excel is keep this all the same. And then you're only copy and pasting here. And then these will change automatically based on where you're at. So that is how you create the custom view for leads.
Hope this helps you for today. Now go out there and flowcast those projects.